Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me for today's live Saturday stick mobility class. I am Coach Ray. So for today's class, we're actually going to get into some fun stuff. So I got a bench here, and that's going to act as a chair or a couch, something for you to put your foot on. We are going to get into a Bulgarian split squat variation today. It's going to be pretty challenging. It's going to be fun. We're also going to get into a core drill as well as an overhead press drill, okay? And then we're going to get into a little bit of flow at the end, right? And also work on stretching out the lats and opening up that T-spine a bit, all right? So I have two long sticks and one short stick. If you only have one long stick and one short stick, that's fine. It's still going to work out here, okay? So what we're going to do here, I'm going to grab both of my long sticks. Okay, so we're going to start with mobilizing the joints. We're going to start with the feet and ankles first. We're really going to need that since we are going to get into some single leg Bulgarian split squat drills. Okay, so feet roughly about shoulder width apart, taking a horse stance, toes are forward. You want to have the sticks in line with your mid toe, about roughly 6 inches in front of the line of your toes here, okay? Hands are going to be about roughly shoulder height. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to bring both heels up. So I'm going to make sure my pelvis is stacked under my spine. Bring both heels up. Make sure we're on all 5 toes here. Okay? I'm going to slowly come down. I'm going to make sure we stay as balanced as possible. Once your heels fully make contact with the floor, bring your heels right back up again. The level of your hips are going to move, right? The level of hips shouldn't change. Heels down, slow and controlled. Once you make contact with the floor, bring your heels back up again. You should be matching my speed. Good. Make sure we're breathing here. Let's go down. Good. Heels up again. Good, hold, heels down slow. One more time, heels up. Good, stay as stable as you can. Hold that position. And heels down slow, under control, and good. Okay, so now we're gonna get into working with a little bit of lateral shifting, as well as tilting the ankle little bits, okay? So I want it to be a little bit more position specific. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of a split squat stance. So I'm gonna take my left foot back, my right foot's gonna be forward, and I wanna have the sticks in line with the arch of my foot here, okay? So hands still at roughly shoulder height. I'm gonna load that front leg just a little bit here, okay? Not a whole lot. What I want to do from here, I actually want to bring my heel up off the floor, and now I'm going to laterally shift my heel. So I'm going to shift my heel towards my midline or into the left, and it's going to be on my big toe here. Now I'm going to shift my heel out. Now I'm going to be on my pinky toe. We're just trying to move the heel. We're not trying to get any excessive movement in the knee or hip. So shift the heel in. Good, and out. Good, in. Right, make sure we're on that big toe here. Out. One more time, in. Good, and out. Excellent, back to center, and down. Now we're gonna do ankle tilts here. And so we're just trying to really warm up some of those tissues in the actual ankle here. So the positioning is still going to be the same, but the movement is going to be a little bit different, right? A little bit smaller. So from here, arms are straight, bottoms of the sticks are still in line with the arch of the foot. What I'm going to do, again, load that front leg just a little bit by shifting that knee forward. And now I'm going to tilt my ankle, or tilt the arch of my ankle up towards the inside of my right knee, okay? Still keeping that foot loaded. And now I'm going to place it back down. Now I'm going to tilt it the opposite way. So I'm going to tilt the outside of my foot towards the outside of my knee. Okay? So big toe is digging into the floor here. Now I'm going to flatten it back out. I'm going to tilt the arch of my foot up towards the inside of my knee. So what we're doing here, we're trying to get those tissues ready to handle some of that lateral stabilization. I'm going to bring my foot back down. I'm going to tilt the outside of my foot up towards the outside of my knee. Good, let's go one more time. Foot back flat. Tilt the arch up towards the inside of the knee here. Good. Put it back flat. Tilt the outside of the foot towards the outside of the knee. Good. Back down and relax. Now we're going to switch sides here. So we're going to set up in the same position here. Okay, back leg is extended back. Okay, on the ball and toes of the back foot. We're going to load that front leg just a bit. Okay, not too much. We're going to bring that left heel up. Good, and now I'm going to shift that heel in. Be on the big toe. Good, now I'm going to shift the heel out. Remember, we're trying to keep that movement only at the ankle joint. Move the heel in. Good, then out. Good, make sure you're breathing. Move the heel in and out. Excellent, one more time. Move in and out. Back to center and down. Good. And now we're going to get into the tilting here. Okay? So lower that front leg a bit. Right? Allow your knee to track forward. Now we're going to tilt to the outside of the foot, tilt the arch up. Hold. Good. Back down. Now tilt the outside of the foot up towards the outside of the knee. Good. Back flat. Tilt the opposite direction. Good. Tilt the opposite direction. Remember, trying to get the outside, the knife edge of that foot going up, lift it off the floor. Good, lay it back down flat. One last time. Tilt the arch up. Good. Bring it back down flat. Tilt the outside of that foot up towards the outside of the knee. Good. Back to center and relax. Good. So now what we're going to do here, we're going to get into some pelvic tilts. We're going to start off in a forward position here, or a squared off position. Then we're going to get into more of a lunge type of position to work on controlling the pelvis. So we're going to get back into that horse stance. We're going to have our feet roughly about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Okay. Now we're actually going to use the sticks to generate tension. So I want to have my hands straight out, arms are at shoulder height, okay? I'm going to drop my knees down a little bit. Again, make sure everything is stacked under the spine. Don't want your hips back, but you're stacked straight under, okay? So from here, I'm going to drive the sticks down, 20% tension, and then I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, do a posterior tilt, squeeze those glutes, drive those knees out, hold, make sure you're breathing. Good. Now I'm going to tuck my pelvis the opposite way. Feel those lower back tissues tighten. Good. Posterior tilt, squeeze those glutes. You should be feeling your core active as you do this here, okay? Especially as you do a posterior tilt. Good. Tuck the opposite way, anterior tilt. Tighten those lower back tissues. Good. Let's go one more time each way. Posterior tilt. Breathe. Good. Anterior tilt. Good. Back to center. And relax. Good. So, now we're going to get into the split squat stance, or split stance. So, I'm not going to start with a really long distance between my feet. I'm going to start with relatively short because I really want to be able to control tucking my pelvis here. So, the sticks are going to be in line with my front foot, so my right foot's forward. Sticks are in line with my toes here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do from here, same thing. I'm going to load that front leg by shifting my hips forward. Okay? I'm going to drive those sticks down, should feel the core activate. And then I'm going to extend my back hip. So I'm going to squeeze that left glute, drive that left heel back. You're going to feel your glute contract. You're going to feel a stretch in the front of the hip. Hold. And 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Bend the knee. Let's go ahead and wiggle that left foot back a little bit more. Create a little bit more of a challenge. So that intensity of the contraction, or the firing intention, is going to increase. So load that front leg. Okay. So I'm going to drive the sticks down. I'm going to squeeze that left glute. Drive that heel back. Try to keep the pelvis as neutral as possible. Really trying to fire those hip extensor muscles here. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Wiggle that back foot back a little bit more. Okay. Same thing. Load that front leg. Okay. Drive the sticks down 20%. Squeeze that left glute. Drive that left heel back. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. Okay. So I'll go with my left foot forward here. Right foot's going to be back. I'm going to be in that same position. So start with it closer. Okay. And what we're going to do here, same thing. I'm going to load that front leg. Okay. Shift that knee forward. I'm going to drive both sticks down. I'm going to squeeze that right glute and drive that heel back. Hold. Make sure you breathe. And slowly ease off. Actually, should feel your glute firing a lot as you're doing this here. Let's go ahead and wiggle that back foot back a little bit more. Okay, arms straight. So load that front leg. Good. Drive both sticks down and squeeze that right glute. Drive that heel back. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Let's go one more time. Wiggle that right foot back a little bit more here. Okay. Load that front leg. Arms straight. Drive the sticks down. Squeeze that right glute. And then extend that heel back. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. And come back up. So it's a good way to work on enforcing that hip extension, trying not to compensate, right? So now I'm going to do here, I'm going to go with one stick, okay? I'm going to go with the long stick here. So we're going to work on some active rotations. And what we're going to do, I'm going to use the wall, okay? So I'm going to hinge, press my glutes against the wall to kind of block me from any kind of excessive movement here, okay? So I'm going to take the long stick, place it behind my mid-back. I'm going to step back towards the wall. My heels are maybe roughly about 1.5 feet away from the wall here, okay? So from here, I'm going to hinge back. I don't want to push my hips against the wall, so you may have to adjust as you do it here. So from here, what I want to do, I want to pull the stick apart, okay? I'm going to rotate that right end of the stick towards the floor. I'm going to make contact by placing the bottom of the stick in line with my midline here, and I'm going to pull the stick apart. Hold. Good. 3, 2, 1. Ease off that pulling apart. Come back up. Let's go the other direction. So we're trying to get some active rotation here. As we do this, pull the stick apart, feel that upper back activate here. trying to lengthen the hands or pull the hands away from one another. Create that tension. Go ahead and ease off pulling apart. Okay, we're going to come back to neutral. We're going to do the same thing again. Try to get the bottom of the stick more toward your left foot if you can. Okay, pull the stick apart. Create that tension, about 20-30%. We're just trying to get that upper back activation. 3, 2, 1. Ease off pulling apart. Come back to neutral. Good. Now we're going to go back with rotating the left end of the stick more towards the right foot. Pull the stick apart. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off pulling apart. Come back to neutral. And stand up. Okay? Now I want to do here, just want to work on a little bit of thoracic extension before we get into the first drill. So I'm going to take my second long stick here. Okay? And what I want to do, I'm going to have both feet roughly about hip to shoulder width apart. Toes going to be forward here. So I want to have the sticks roughly about 6 to 8 inches in front of the line of my toes. I'm going to grab with my hands up high. So my hands are roughly about nose to chin height. Okay? Then from here, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to hinge and drive the sticks out, really trying to work on that extension in the thoracic spine. So from here, I'm going to lightly drive the sticks down, about 20% tension. I'm going to hinge back and reach out with both hands. I want to make sure we're keeping that tension of driving the sticks into the ground lightly. And 3, 2, 1. Come back up, still driving the sticks into the floor. 20-30% tension and relax. Good. You can move your hands down a little bit, right? If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch in that T-spine. Arms are straight, okay? Drive the sticks down, 20%. I'm going to drive my hips back, reaching out with my hands. Hold. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Going to come back up. Excellent. Let's go one more time. Maybe move your hands a little bit lower. Okay? Arms straight. Drive both sticks down. Hinge. Drive those hands out. Good. Stay balanced on the feet. Hold. And 3, 2, 1. Going to come back up slowly. And ease off. Good. So now we're going to get into the single leg Bulgarian split squat drill. So with this, you're going to need a short stick. If you only have a long stick, that's fine too. You can use a long stick. But what I'm going to do here, pull this forward. And so it'd be best if you have something that's kind of padded here, right? So we're going to be putting our back foot on the bench. So I'm sure a lot of people are actually familiar with the Bulgarian split squat. We're just going to add in something a little different. We're going to make it a little more challenging by bringing the stick into an overhead position here, okay? So I'm going to start with my right foot forward, okay? Now the distance that you're going to be from whatever apparatus you're using is going to really vary on you, okay, and what your ability is. So now one of the cues is you want to make sure you're grabbing the ground with your foot, right? You want to make sure you keep that active foot position. Okay, so try to shorten the foot, grab the ground with your toes. Now with the stick, I'm going to have it straight. I'm going to keep my arms straight. Now start off with a far grip because we are moving this into overhead position. So from here, grab the ground with your toes. What I'm going to do is as I go down, the stick's going to come straight out to chest height. Bring my left knee down towards the floor. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the stick apart, okay? Bring it up to an overhead position. Bring it back as far as I can, keeping the rib cage down. Hold. And 3, 2, 1. Stand back up. Good. And bring the stick back down. And relax. Good. So we're pulling the stick apart, about 50 to 60% tension, right? We're keeping that tension throughout. So we're trying to get that upper back active. So, same thing, okay? Grab the ground with your toes. I'm gonna bring myself down, left knee's hovering off the floor, stick's at chest height, pull the stick apart, 50 to 60% tension, bring it up overhead, keep the rib cage down, hold, 3, 2, 1, drive that front leg into the floor, stand up, and good. Slowly bring the stick back down and ease off. Good. Let's go one more repetition here, okay? So slowly lower yourself to the floor, lower that back knee down, sticks at chest height, pull the stick apart, bring it up overhead, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand back up, and relax. Bring the stick back down and ease off. Whew. Good. Take a break for a second, shake your legs out. So we're gonna get quite a bit of load, quite a bit of burn. So we're loading both legs here, but we're trying to get that pattern ingrained into a little bit more of a harder position, right? So once you bring things overhead, start adding in more thoracic spine demand, it makes it a lot harder. So now I'm gonna go on my left foot. So left foot is forward here, okay? We're gonna bring my right foot back, place the top of the foot on a bench, okay? Same thing, make sure you grab the ground with your toes here, okay? Keep an active foot, pressure throughout your entire foot, right? Shouldn't be just back on your heel, back on the forefoot. So I'm gonna slowly bring my right knee down. Good, sticks at shoulder height, or chest height. Pull the stick apart, 50 to 60% tension. Bring it up overhead. Still pulling apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive that front leg into the floor. And slowly bring the stick down. And ease off. Good. Let's get 2 more reps here, okay? If you need to adjust, go ahead and adjust, right? Right, same thing. Gonna bring my right knee down towards the floor, hover that right knee, stick comes up to chest height, pull stick apart, bring it up overhead, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand back up, and bring the stick back down slow, and relax. Good, ease off. Okay, let's get 1 more rep here. If your legs are burning, I'm right there with you. All right, so last one. Gonna drive that back knee down, hover it off the floor, stick comes up to chest height, pull the stick apart, bring it up overhead, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand back up, and ease off, bringing the stick down, and relax. Good. Okay, your quads should be pretty darn lit up from that, all right? So I'm gonna place short stick down. Now I'm gonna move the bench back. So we are going to get into a half kneeling position here. Okay, so we're going to use we're going to need 2 sticks for this. So 1 stick's going to be driving down. The other stick's going to be behind our head, driving into the wall as we do an overhead press type movement. Okay, so I'm going to grab my 2 sticks here. Now, the leg that's down is going to be the leg closest to the wall, so that inside leg here, okay? So, as I'm here, I'm gonna bring my right knee's gonna be down, okay? Now the right stick is gonna be in line with the toes of my front foot, okay? So, this is from the wall, is gonna be whatever allows you to get your hand on the best position on the stick. So I have a longer stick, so I have a little bit more playroom here, but I'm going to press the stick into the wall. Okay, it's going across my shoulders here. Now my hand, left hand, is outside my shoulder width. Okay? So, right arm is straight at shoulder height. What I want to do, I'm going to go through a series of activations. So I'm going to drive this back foot, the top of my back foot, into the floor. So I'm going to drive it down, squeeze a glute. Now I'm going to drive that right stick into the floor. And I'm going to push the left stick into the wall, about 40%. And I'm going to press it up overhead. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring it right back down. Still keep that tension. Do not let any of that tension go. Stay active. Press it up overhead again. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Make sure you're gripping that stick. Press it up one more time. Press up. Try to get to that full lockout. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Slowly ease off the tension. And relax. Good. We're going to switch sides. So the cool thing about this one, we're getting that hip flexor involved as well as the glute. As we're really focusing on keeping a really tall spine here, right? So, we're going to do that same thing on this side here. The left stick, or inside stick, in this case, in line, bottom of the stick's in line with the toes of the front foot. Okay? Got to take the stick, bring it across my upper back. Okay? Left arm is straight, gripping the inside stick at shoulder height. Okay? Back foot drives into the floor. Squeeze that left glute, drive that inside stick into the floor. Now with the right stick, drive it in towards the wall. 40%, press it up overhead. 3, 2, 1, bring it back down. Remember to keep that tension of driving that stick into the wall here. Good. Press up overhead again. Get to that full lockout. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. Just go one more rep. Press it back up overhead. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down. And ease off tension slowly. Good. And relax, okay? So that was one. So that one, quite a bit different, adding in multiple things, but addressing multiple systems at the same time, right? So now, I'm actually gonna have you guys get into a simple core exercise, which is actually gonna be rotations, or in this particular case, rotating the hips towards the wall and pivoting the foot here, right? So, stick is gonna be roughly right below the lower part of my chest here. Okay, so I wanna make sure both arms are at 90 degrees, okay? I wanna keep my elbows in. I'm gonna take a shoulder width stance. Toes are going to be facing forward, okay? So what I'm gonna do from here, I'm gonna drive the stick into the wall, 60% tension. Wanna make sure my knees are bent. Now I'm gonna start to rotate my hips towards the wall, or rotate my left hip towards the wall, Right foot is facing forward still. Now I'm going to return my hip back to its original position, pivot that outside foot back down, okay? Still pushing the stick into the wall, right? 50-60% tension. I want to pivot that outside foot and hip in towards the wall. You're going to feel your oblique on the outside working here. Good. I'm going to bring it back down, rotate back to that neutral position. One last time. So drive the stick into the wall, pivot that outside foot, keep that right or inside leg straight. 3, 2, 1, back to neutral, and relax, ease off. Good. We'll switch over to the other side. Whew. Starting to cramp there. Okay, same position. Arms are at 90 degrees, elbows are in, okay? Feet forward, slight bend to the knees, stay stacked. Drive the stick into the wall. Good. Rotate that outside foot and hip towards the wall. 3, 2, 1, good. Rotate it back to neutral. Breathe, so driving that stick into the wall, pivot that outside foot. Remember that inside leg has to stay forward. That foot position on the inside leg doesn't change. Bring it back to neutral. Still pushing the stick into the wall. Last one, rotate. Good, 3, 2, 1, bring it back to neutral. And ease off. Good, excellent. So, a little bit of core work there. It's feeling good today, right? So, we're now going to get into stretching out the lats and opening up the T-spine a bit here. So, with this, I'm going to use the bench. You can use the couch, edge of a couch, or you can use a chair or even a countertop if you need to. You just want to make sure you have something soft for you to set your elbows on, okay? So, I'm going to pull this forward. Now, I'm going to take the shorter stick for this. Again, if you have a long stick, that works just fine, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get into a full kneeling position in front of the bench here. Now, my grip, it's really going to depend on what your shoulder mobility is or what your limitations are or not. So for me, I'm actually going to grip about shoulder width, okay? And my palms are actually up, right? My palms are facing towards me. Now what I'm going to do here is we're going to place my elbows on the bench, okay? Now for this position here, now you may have to adjust, but what I want to do is I want to keep my elbows at roughly about 90 degrees, okay? Now what I'm going to do from here, keeping my elbows on the edge of the bench, I'm going to start to lower my chest down towards the floor. Keeping the spine neutral. You're going to feel a stretch in the lats, serratus anterior. Good. Slowly come out. Good. We're going to do that again. You can always adjust your hand position as needed. Okay? So, this I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the stick further towards my upper back. Okay? So from here, I'm going to pull the stick back, try to keep it in this position. I'm going to lower my chest down toward the floor. Good. Really trying to drive the chest down towards the floor. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Come back up slowly. Good. Let's go one more time. This time we're going to add a pull apart, right? Try to lengthen the stick as we're in that stretch position, okay? So, stick is in the back of the head, like so. I'm going to slowly lower my chest down towards the floor. Now we're going to pull the stick apart. Just feel your spine open up a little bit more. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out. And good. Okay? So that's a way to open up the T-spine and the lats. Okay? So, I'm going to put the short stick away. Now we're going to get into a little bit of flow here. So, only going to need one long stick. Okay? So, the flow, or what's going to consist of the flow, is we're going to start out with a flag out. Okay? Then we're going to move into a bow and arrow, and then we're going to move into a hamstring stretch. So we're going to move slowly from one to the other, okay? And we're going to do both sides. So we want to shoot. We're going to shoot for 4 repetitions of each one per side, okay? So I'm going to start with the stick on my right side here, okay? Now the stick, bottom of the stick is going to be in line with the arch of my left foot here. And if I put my feet together, you see how far the stick is away from me, okay? So it allows me to get a little bit deeper, a little bit more comfortable into that flag out stretch. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to place my right hand on top, and I'm going to place my opposite hand on the stick here. Again, this is just for balance. Make sure we don't fully fall over, right? So from here, I'm going to take my right foot, and I'm going to bring it across my left foot, and I'm going to place the top of my foot down into the floor, and I'm going to drop my right hip towards the bottom of the stick. We're going to hold for 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to slowly come back up into a hip width stance. Slide my right hand down, left hand up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Now I'm going to get into a bow and arrow, driving my hips away from the stick, and then extending both hands. Good. Slowly ease off. Now I'm going to rotate and have my left heel in front of the toes of my right heel in front of the toes of my left foot. And now from here, stick is already angled out. I'm going to start to hinge, drive my hips back, reaching down towards the floor. Okay? Hands on top of the stick. Stick is on the shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and come back up slowly. Good. And we're going to start that whole process back over again. Okay? So, left hand is on the stick. Added support. Bring that right foot across. Back it across. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, going to come back up, hip width position, toes forward, left hand up over the top, bow and arrow, hold, 3, 2, 1, good, ease off, going to rotate to my right, hands on top of the stick, slide down, slight bend to the right knee. Want to get that stretch in the hamstring. 3, 2, 1. Back up slow. Repeat that process again. Right hand up top. Left hand on the stick. Flag that right foot out. Hold. And 3, 2, 1. Back up. Hip width position. Bow and arrow. Extend. And 3, 2, 1, back in, rotate to the right, toes up, hinge those hips back, get that stretch in that hamstring. Make sure you're controlling your breathing. Back up. Excellent. One last time. Right hand up top, flag that left foot or right foot out. Okay? Your breathing should be under control the entire time. Good. Going to come back up. Back to the bow and arrow. Hold. Breathe. Good. Slowly come out. Rotate to your right. Good. Reach down. Three, two, one. Back up slow. And good. Now we're going to switch sides here, okay? So this, we're getting quite a few different systems all in one, right? As we go into that flag, we actually, if you're tying the hip, you're going to feel that hip open up. We're trying to get the hip to open up in that entire lateral chain. Then we're going to bow and arrow, right? Then we're starting to get into the hamstring. So we're trying to get multiple things at one time, okay? So position is going to be the same. Still doing 4 repetitions, okay? Left hand is up top. Right hand's on the stick. Left foot dragging out. Hold. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Hip width position. Left hand slides down. Right hand up over the top. Drive the hips away. Extend those hands out. 3, 2, 1. Good. Back in. Rotate to your left. Left heel up. Oops, sorry. And then stick on the left side. And then we're going to slide down. Three, 2, 1. Back up. Good. Rotate back forward. Left hand up top. Right hand on the stick. Flag that left foot out. 3, 2, 1. Back up to neutral. Okay. Right hand up over the top. Extend both hands out. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Rotate to the left. Left heel up. Slide down. Drive those hips back. Slight bend to the knee. 3, 2, 1. Back up. Let's go 2 more here. Okay. Left hand up top. Flag that left foot out. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Slide into that bow and arrow. Drive those hips away from the stick. Try to really lengthen that lateral chain. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Rotate to the left. Left toes up. Hinge. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Last one here. Left hand up. Slide the left foot out. Really try to lengthen that entire side. 3, 2, 1. Back up. Bow and arrow. Drive the hips away. Extend those hands out. And 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Rotate to the left. Left heel down. Good. Hold. Make sure you're breathing. Deep breaths. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly come up. Relax. That concludes today's class. Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining the class. I hope everybody had a wonderful class. Happy Saturday. Make sure you stay safe out there. Make sure to check out the YouTube where we have more training videos. Hope you guys have a good day. Don't have too much fun out there.